So I'm going to go ahead and so class, I'm excited to introduce our speaker. I'm so proud of her, and I think she's doing a wonderful job. And when I thought about computers and computer engineering and computer science, I wanted to bring in Audra because I think she's such a fascinating student, and so I'm excited to have Miss Audra here. So I'm going to let her introduce herself, and then we'll go into our presentation.
Hi, so my name is Audra Benally. I grew up in Red Valley, Arizona, and I am Navajo. My clans are Nasht Ejidin. Nasht Ejnashlan da Tachini Bashin, Senaha Bishni Dashate, Tchini Dashinale. I go to school at Fort Lewis College right now, and I am 28. That's good information, I'm pretty sure.
We got a couple of our former students at Fort Lewis, right? Yeah, they're freshmen.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, it's nice at Fort Lewis. The area is really wonderful, and they cater really well to Native American students. I like it here.
It's too cold, I'm sorry.
What is your major, Audra, and what is your classification? Like, what year are you in?
Oh yeah. My major is computer engineering, and I'm currently a senior.
Yay! So when will you graduate?
I'm graduating in May.
This May?
Yeah.
Wow! So
Yeah,
proud of
it's so exciting.
you. Yay! That's so awesome. And I want to mention too. Also, we have our AISES program manager, coordinator in the office. She joined too. This is Hope. So.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Johnny, for that little introduction. And it's nice to see you, Audra, and excited just to be here. Thanks.
So I'm going to go ahead with some questions, and then I'm going to save time for student questions from the class if you have any. So my first question is, Audra, you came from a small town. What interested you in your current major with computers? Like what drew you to that major?
Yeah, so like I said, I came from Red Valley, Arizona. I went to BIA school. I went from New Mexico to Arizona every day on the bus. And so I actually had no idea about computer engineering for the longest time. Like I always heard about engineering as like, oh, it's this big old thing. And it's a huge challenge and such and so forth. And so I didn't hear about computer engineering until I got into the engineering program over at San Juan College in Farmington. And after kind of doing some research, I was getting close to graduating, and I was like, I have no idea what I'm going to go into. So I'm doing some research on coding and circuits and stuff. I found out the computer engineering has both of those, and those were my favorite subjects in classes. And so I just kind of did my own research and found out about computer engineering, and Fort Lewis College was just opening a computer engineering program. So I was like, let's do it.
So a lot of this, like you just found yourself, like, or did you have like anybody tell you? Did the schools reach out, or was this all on you?
Mostly myself. I was a little the valedictorian of my little BIA school, and so there were quite a bit of like, you're gonna go and do this, and you can do whatever you want, and like, you should go into engineering, you should go into like be a lawyer and stuff. And so I kind of heard about it that way, and like me being all rebellious back in the day, I was like, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to go to school. This is hard. And so it took me a little bit. I actually stopped going to school for a while, and I went and was floating around. I worked at Best Buy, I worked at Pizza Hut, and then I worked at this place, nonprofit, and it's called Capacity Builders. And they were so very nice. Like, it felt like a family, felt like I was a part of something, and they were always trying to improve the community. And so like they really instilled that drive in me, like, oh my gosh, these guys are really helping people. I really like the way I feel helping people. And I'm like, okay, let's go and do that. And so in my little going around trying to find out what I wanted to do, I was like, I might as well give engineering a try. And I took the class, and it's like, oh, engineers bridge the gap between what scientists to figure out and how to apply it to society. And I'm like, that's perfect. And so I went through that, and yeah, and that's how I found out. Like, for a long time, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know what to do at all until it took me a while to find something that really sparked my passion.
Awesome.
Did I answer that?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Thank you so much. So like you're one of the very few. So I look at the numbers and I look at our scholars who our scholarships go to, and you're one of the very few female computer, students, but you're also one of the very, very few Native female students in computers. Um, so I want to say, how does that make you feel? But also, um, does it make you feel empowered? What can you elaborate on that? Like, how was it like in the classrooms? Like being, you might be the only one. I imagine maybe you are. How does that, can you
There's
just
maybe,
talk about
yeah,
that?
there's like one other person who's a female in the class, and there's a couple like walking around in the area. There's a lot more over in San Juan College, but like over like in the bigger school, Fort Lewis College is not super big, but it was bigger than San Juan College. There's maybe like a couple females walking around. I'm like, okay, this is cool. um, it's a little bit nerve-wracking and a little bit empowering. It's like a little balance of both of them, because I'm like, I'm the only girl, and like I hear about all this like sexism and like issues that I should run into. And I haven't had too many issues recently. Like the professors are willing to work with me and like help out and just whatever I need to do. And like I feel like I should know everything, and like I need to stand up for like my Native Americanness and like my femaleness. And so it's like I should know this, but then at the same time I'm like I am the only, like I'm a double minority here.
Yeah.
Like I'm happy to be even just be in the area and be like, yeah, I'm learning this and I'm doing decently well, and I'm gonna keep going, and like as hard as it is, I still love what I'm doing. And so it's a little mix of both, like trying to keep that part of like, oh no, I need to know everything, I need to be prepared, I'm going to be tested, and like, okay, it's okay to relax, it's awesome that I'm just here and that I'm trying, and it counts that I'm trying so hard.
What do you like, do you have any like support systems, or how do you, yeah, I imagine it's tough some days. Like what are your support systems in college? Like where can you go to get, just to feel more relaxed, have fun, because I know that's part of it too, that balance.
Yeah, it's a little tricky for me personally because I grew up like ridiculously shy. Like even now I'm like really trying not to be super awkward talking, but I'm pretty sure that I am. um, I get a lot of support from my family, and like I have a bunch of little brothers and sisters who are looking up to me, and they're just glad that I'm doing something, and they're trying their best to every time they see me, and they're like, I'm so proud of you, and they're really, really awesome that way. My parents are nice to talk to every now and again. My Nolly, I call her, and she's always like, I'm so proud of you. And so she like makes me feel better. My boyfriend is ridiculously supportive, and he's always trying to make sure that I am confident and that I know that I can do this. And like there's a Native American center here. They're really, really cool. And they have a bunch of different like they're called REUs, like clubs. And so I go to the AISES club, and there's also like different Native Americans club. There's like Dakota, and there's a whole bunch. There's like natives in business. And so there's a ton of clubs here that help out. And I have an AISES meeting today actually, and they're really cool. They're fun to talk to. And they're also in the same boat as I am. And so they're computer engineering, and like a lot of them are just starting out. And so it's really nice being there as well. And yeah, a lot of family for me personally, and the also the teachers. I specifically looked for a college that had a small ratio of students to teachers, because I like being able to talk to teachers and get help and have them actually like have the time to talk to me and sit down and like help me through whatever I need. And there's tons of resources at the college, like math resources, which when you're getting up there in engineering classes, it sometimes you can't find tutors for your math people, and so you have to go to the actual professor to get help. So that's been fun.
What is you kind of talked a little about it a little bit, but I'm trying to get our students to see, what college is like. Some of them may have never been, or they don't have an older brother or sister.
Mm.
So they may be the first ones in their families to go to college. But I wanted if you could explain what a normal day is like for you as a student. Yeah, what is that like?
Yeah. So first I get up and then struggle to get up in the morning because I still do that. I do anything I need to at the house, like feed my cats or like do any chores that need to be done. And thankfully my classes this semester start really late and at like 1:25. And so I get to the college as early as I can, get some homework done, eat some food over there, and kind of enjoy the vibe of the dining room because there's always tons of people there. And like I'll set up my laptop and watch some Doctor Who and like do some homework, and or there's tons of like little areas and cubbies and study alcoves, and like just you can just see all the students like bustling and doing all their work. Like you walk by, you see like papers and presentations up, and everyone's just doing their own thing and like little bees buzzing away. And then in class, it's really nice. Like I said, I go to a small class, and my classes are small, and so it's easy to like ask questions to the professor. And even though it's still awkward for me, I've gotten to the part where like I'm in robotics too, and it's really hands-on. So my next class um, has a lot of like we work in a lab, and there's like soldering stations, and there's like tons of components, and there's wires, and there's computers everywhere, and it's like fun being like actually up there and being able to work on my project and like wiring everything together and like looking up data sheets. And that's a big part of the stuff that I really like about computer engineering is like getting a system together. Like I have a cool little like robot car that I made, and I can like log on to the internet and like use my phone to control it, and it like takes off. And that's been really fun. And now I'm working on like a balancing robot, and so like if you push it, it'll tip, but then it'll right itself again. And so the really hands-on stuff is what I really love about college, and like the labs that they have. And there's just tons of students, and everyone is just trying just as hard as you are, and also just as stressed as you are. And it's nice being amongst people like that. And it's like, okay, just being in an institute of higher education, everyone's there to learn, and I love that feeling.
Wow. So is that your project? Like, do you have like a senior project or like an in project or?
Yeah, I'm in senior SEM is what they call it. So it's like a year-long project. And the one that I'm working on is it's called a successive approximation register analog to digital converter. So basically it's an
Oh my
analog to digital
gosh.
converter. Yeah, I know, right? And so analog is just like everything in the real world, like temperature fluctuates. It's not ones and zeros like digital is. So computers understand digital information, ones and zeros, like I said, but like with weather and humidity and like visual stuff, stuff we take in as analog, and we need to be able to let our computers understand that too. And so we're designing a little microchip that actually has an analog to digital converter in it, and it can convert. It's going to be converting audio into digital signal, and then the way we're going to try to test it is it's going to have an audio signal, it's going to convert to digital, and then it's going to convert back to audio, and then it's going to come out of a speaker.
Oh my gosh. It sounds
And it's
so
actually, yeah, it's actually pretty unheard of for undergrads. This is like a project that usually graduate students work on. And so like actually creating a microchip, and hopefully we'll get it done because we're still working out a bunch of kinks and trying to get everything worked through, and we'll be able to fabricate like a tiny little microchip. It's super small, and it's exciting.
So you work on it with a team or is it just you?
Yeah, me and like 4 other people.
Oh
That's
my
awesome. Good job.
Thank you.
it sounds kind of challenging, but it also sounds very kind of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it's super fun. I really like this. Like I chose specifically this because I really have fun with it. And so it is really fun for me.
That's so cool. So okay, so what has been, because you're almost done, what has been the hardest part about college? But then also the second part is what has been the most funnest part about college?
Hardest part is probably balancing like my home life with school, because like school definitely gets like I have to go to school, I have to go to my classes, but with my other things I'm doing with like family and like, you know, how very involved Native Americans are with their family, sometimes issues come up, and I'm one of the older sisters. I am the oldest sister and the second oldest in the sibling pack, and so I do take on a lot of those responsibilities because I care so much for my family. And balancing that with school can be a little tricky sometimes, and like I have to take care of my own mental health when home life gets too stressful and like I can't focus on my work because I need a lot of focus for my work. And so taking care of myself at the same time as taking care of my family has been a little tricky, but it's working, and I'm still here, and I'm still definitely going to graduate. And one of the most fun things is, well, like I said, I chose this path because I really enjoy learning about circuitry, and I love learning about coding. I love learning about programming, and I love the hands-on working with the microcontrollers. And so as challenging and as hard as it is, it's paying off every semester, every month. I'm learning new things and I'm figuring stuff out. And right now I'm working in theory. So I'm like trying to connect the theory with real life. And so sometimes I'll have like a moment where like, oh man, I don't, how do I even do this? And I'm like, I learned how to do this last semester. Okay. And so learning about everything and like expanding my knowledge has just been so fun.
So awesome. What do you plan to do after May, like after you graduate? What are your plans?
I'm gonna find me a job. Yeah, I like the idea of graduate school, but like I'm so tired. I've been in school for a while now because I took my time, and it took me about 6 years instead of 4 or 5 to get my degree. And like the first 3 years is because I was working full time, and I was also trying to like pay my rent and pay for my cats. And the last 3 years is because it's so challenging, and because I want to be able to slow down and like enjoy being in the classes that I am. And so I took 3 years to get my bachelor's degree. And I got to live off scholarships, and so I didn't have a job at the same time. And so it's all been focused on school.
Thank you. So my next question just goes right into that. I want everyone to know like Audra is one of our Intel scholars. So she received a scholarship from Intel every year. Like as far as I know, for the past 2 years, maybe more than that. But can you talk about how important college scholarships are for you and for just students? Like we may have students that are wondering if they should apply, how to apply. But if you could talk about how important they are and what they've meant for your college journey, that would be great.
Yeah. Okay. So, like I said, I started off the first 3 years getting my associate's degree working full time at the same time. So I was getting like 30 hours a week and trying to take maybe 3 or 4 classes a semester. And thankfully, I had a job where they were willing to work with my schedule, and I can like design my own schedule and go to class, come back, work so however many hours. And I was able to get 30 hours every semester, but that was so very hard and stressful. And like so many times I was sitting at my desk and I'm like, I really, really need to do my homework. I'm going to do my homework. And so balancing those two was really hard. And so I knew going into Fort Lewis College, I really, really didn't want to have a job at the same time because of how much time it took away from my school. And so I decided that I want to live off scholarships, and I've been applying every year and trying to get as much as I can. And thankfully, with the Navajo Nation scholarship and AISES have been keeping me afloat. And so I've been able to pay my bills. I've been able to get groceries. I've able to get everything done that I need to, get school supplies when I need it, or like getting cat food when I need it. That's been all paying for everything. And it's a huge relief not having to worry about money, or not having to worry about, do I have enough money for the electricity bill next month? Because I'm living on my own with a whole bunch of other people, but still I'm living off campus, and I need to be able to afford these things. And it's really peace of mind so that I can totally focus on school. And that's the biggest part, is like, I know I can pay for the next couple months and I don't have to worry about that. And so let's focus on my project. Let's focus on everything I need to get done. And I'll almost always try to get more scholarships than I need, because something always goes wrong and something always happens in which I need money to fix it. Like, oh, I can't even. Car stuff is usually a big thing that goes wrong, or like my bike. I've been biking the last couple years because I'm tired of having a car. And so like something in my bike needs to be fixed, or like this fee came up, or this extra bill came in. And like, so I usually try to have like a nice little savings account too for all of the unexpected stuff, because there's always going to be unexpected stuff that happens. And so it helps to be prepared so that I can keep focusing on school and be like, okay, I just need to go and pay that. I'm done. I don't have to worry about it. So that's a big one, peace of mind.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you so much. So before I open it up for questions, I wanted to ask you one last one. And so we have our students, if you could provide them one bit of advice for their future, whether it be college or not, what can you share with them today?
Well, I have like a little bit. So one thing that has really paid off for me, I realized when I was younger that like, I don't want to be a working stiff. I don't want to just float around and go work for the weekends and like go to a job just to get a paycheck. Like, I want to actually enjoy my life and have fun. And so finding something that really sparks your passion, no matter how long it takes. It took me like 3-4 extra years to figure out what I wanted to do before I went to college. And it was totally worth it, because then I found something that I really, really like, and something that challenges me, and something that I love. And it might not be computer engineering, it could be something else, you know. And so when you find something that you really, really like, then it doesn't feel like work. It doesn't, all of the hard work. Yeah, it's hard work and it's really stressful. But at the end of the day, you're like, man, this is really cool. And this is super fun. And I love going to my classes, and I love waking up every day and just being happy day to day, and not working just to like, oh, this degree has a big paycheck, or this is something, you know, that I think I'll like in the future. You know, find something that you like now. And also very important to take care of your mental health and be on top of that, and make sure that you know when you're pushing yourself too hard, and that you know, because you can only go so far, and that's fine. It's normal because we're all human. And so it's normal to reach out to other people, and it's normal to be scared to reach out to other people. And so accepting the fear and doing it anyway, because we're programmed to be in a society, and we're programmed to, you know, be able to talk to people. And so we need that. And so make sure you reach out to someone when you need to.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So now I think we have a few more minutes left. I wanted to ask Mr. Rayner or of the students, if they have any questions they want to ask Miss Audra, Miss Benally.
Yeah, I have one. You're looking for a job. We losing our CS teacher in December. We need a new CS teacher down here. If you're looking for it, we have a huge CS program and a robotic program here on we actually using our CS program to further the Metzger language. They're coding using the Apache language. So,
Oh, that is so cool.
We're losing our teacher, our instructor. So if you're looking, I can definitely give a shout out for you. But one of the things that a lot of what you talked about, we are currently, you know, in this class in particular, we have two classes in here today. We have a engineering class, and we have a wind energy class. And they're both dual credit classes. And actually, a couple of weeks ago, we actually climbed the tower for one of the wind generators in Tucumcari, New Mexico. And we took 4 of our students there, and that was pretty awesome. But one of the questions that I like to ask you is, thank you. Lost my train of thought there. It's being a indigenous female. Do you find that hard to compete in the real world? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
Say
something.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, something that I'm gonna probably find out after I graduate and get into a job. Here and now, it's not super hard because Fort Lewis has a lot of Native American students, and it's all very equal. And like, if you need help, you can go and get help, and it's not too big an issue. I haven't had anyone like talk down to me or anything, and I haven't had that issue. But I feel like I probably will be facing that in the future, and that's gonna be interesting.
Anybody else got any questions? Okay, because take the mic and just
Okay, I have a question. Do you think that failure is okay, and have you failed in the past with any projects that you've had?
Oh yeah, that's a great question because failure is everywhere. It's so common. It's gonna happen. You know, you can't avoid it. You're gonna fail at something, and I have failed at a lot of stuff, and that's where the reaching out to get help thing really helps. And there's a lot of times where like personal stuff gets in the way and I miss deadlines, or like last time I totally didn't even come to this webinar and I felt really bad about it. And so it's gonna happen and you're gonna mess up so many times. And I think one of my favorite quotes is the difference between a master and a beginner is the master has failed more times than the beginner has even tried. And so it's a part of life, failure and fear of failure, and it's going to happen. So just get used to it and learn how to pick yourself back up. And that's the part that counts, learning to pick yourself back up and trying again.
I hope we need her at the leadership conference so she can do a speech, do a breakout session on what she's doing. I think it's amazing what she's doing. Maybe we can get her at the leadership conference to do a breakout session in the spring.
Yeah, I mean, I knew like whenever like with the grant, I knew they were like pick, you know, we need to have a speaker, and I was like, I knew exactly who to pick. Choose.
Oh, thank you. I'm happy to.
Okay. Well, they like you, they're shy.
No, that's fine. I understand. I get it.
Yeah. But hey, what you're doing is it's almost comparison to what we are doing here at the high school level. And we are surrounded by 4 or 5 different schools, and out of the 5 schools, we're the only ones that's doing the engineering program. We're the only one that has a huge robotic. We also incorporated our 4th and 5th graders into coding. They come to 4th grade, they come like twice a week, and I use my these guys actually to train those 4th and 5th graders.
That's incredible.
So I'm gonna be building an app, and I was wondering, like, what would you say a good base to start including like the language and stuff, since you're a programmer and a technician, I guess you could say. I was wondering a good basis for it is to start coding and getting it all together.
Oh, like which
Like
language is a good base to have?
I guess you could say JavaScript is one, but I was just wondering what's your personal favorite.
Oh, so I've been working a lot with Arduino, which is a little microcontroller. It's like a little kit and you can like plug it in and make different things. And Arduino has C++, and so that's a pretty good one to start with. Python is very popular also, and goes through a lot. Like we worked with Python a lot last semester in our junior project, and we actually coded up a artificial intelligence network. And so Python's really popular with that too. I think Python and C++ are the ones that I'm personally going into a lot. I'm learning other ones too. It's hard to say because like different programs will call for different languages. And I've run into Python and C++ the most though. And I actually don't know that much about JavaScript because I haven't taken those classes either. I think that's more like computer science, and I'm more on like the programming robots and microcontrollers side. And so, yeah, I've run into C++ and Python a lot more than any other one.
And we use Arduinos in our CS program. We use Arduino a lot.
Yes, I love Arduinos. They're fun.
Anybody else? Well, if he needs help with this project, are you available to help him?
Nope, I am a senior computer engineering student. I don't think I have time for that.
Okay.
I apologize.
I understand. Trying to get through.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get through the end of the semester right now.
Okay. Well, hey, but I'm serious about that position.
If I want to get into teaching for sure. I do want to do some type of thing with Native Americans and reaching out and stuff, but well, I'm doing this for now. This is what I can do.
Okay, that's great. All right, anybody? All right, well, we want to thank you for giving up your time to present to us this morning. Really
Yeah, thank you for listening. I forget how awesome I am, so thanks for reminding me.
Every now and then we need to let you know. I always tell my kids, when I get up in the morning, I look in the mirror and I say, man, I'm the best looking guy in the whole wide world. It makes my day. I don't care if no one else believes it, I believe it, you know. You gotta have belief in yourself first.
Yes.
And then you go out to the world.
Well,
Agreed.
I think I just have one more question. Like, can you tell how many cats you have?
I have two. I have two cats, but there are three in this house because one of my roommates has a cat too.
Okay. What's
They're
her name?
around here somewhere. I have a white kind of like beige tabby. His name is Garfunkel, and I have an orange tabby. His sister, who her name is Mira.
Cute. Well, okay. I want to thank you so much, Audra. I'm so glad you were here. I think you're a wonderful, amazing, and I knew that you would be so perfect for this webinar.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate the consideration. I hope you do consider me again in the future. This was fun, and I'm happy to help in whatever ways I can.
Awesome. So I just want to, and Mr. Rayner and his class of students, so thank you so much for listening, for asking great questions. I'm so glad you participated. But yeah, and I hope you guys keep going forward in your futures and listen and paid attention to our speaker today. I think she has some really great things to share and to help you. And, you know, she came from a student, I mean, she was a student like where you are one day before. So, and look where she is now. She's about to graduate. So yeah, so you can achieve great things as well. So I just want to say thank you so much. And thank you for, again, Mr. Rayner and Ms. Gross.
I got one.
There's
This one's Mira.
Hi, Mira. But again,
thank you.
Oh,
I was just going to say thank you to Audra too for letting me listen in and hear your story. And I also just want to tell the students, like, just keep that confidence, like your teacher said, and you know, like that fear and failure, it shouldn't stop you, because if you have that confidence, you already know, you're like, oh, I'm going to make it past this. So.
All right. So yes,
failure is a part of the process.
Good luck on your next semester. Make sure, well, now I know, so now we can give you an AISES graduation stole. We have them, you can wear it.
Yay!
Yes, congratulations.
Yes, awesome. It's an awesome thing. But yeah, we'll keep in touch, and I'm so proud of you. And yeah, keep going. And I know you're gonna do good.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye. Johnny, could you send me the recording?
I will.
Okay, I appreciate it. Bye, guys. Have a good day. Thank you. Thank you.